Okay, so let's turn our attention now on the show to all things Matlock Town, and one of the biggest piece of news for the Gladiators since the turn of the year. Nothing to do with actually anything on the pitch because Matlock haven't played yet this calendar year, but we had the big news that Al Byrne, one of Matlock's star players for this season's campaign, has signed a two-year deal with the Gladiators, and Al Byrne joins us now on the show. Al, first of all, thank you for coming onto the show tonight.
No, nice one for having me, mate. Looking forward to it.
No problem. So, this was met by a really warm and positive reaction from the Gladiators fan base online when it was confirmed on New Year's Day that you'd signed a new 2-year deal with the Gladiators. Just first of all, what was it an easy decision for you to make?
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, it wasn't even a second thought. I spoke to Philo, just said, quite literally said name the time and place. Me, Philo, and Bryn met, and it was just straightforward. It was a meeting. One meeting was there, 20-30 minutes max. I think we got through one. I got through one blackcurrant juice at the pub where we met, and it was done, and we shook hands and we got off. There was no and and there was no talking to other clubs. It weren't a case, because a couple of people said, "Oh, relieved." It was never a 50-50 decision, or people speaking to me. It was just a case of I'm loving it, and everyone I speak to, I let them know that I'm loving it. And it was just, I don't know, just a case of showing it. They offered me a 2-year deal, and I thought, there's nowhere else I'd rather be for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. And I think it comes on to what I was going to come on to in a little bit later. But from what it seems like, this decision to sign the deal, and obviously with the Gladiators being able to do it as well, it's fair to say the club in the past few years, in the past decade, they've been a bit stagnant. They've sort of been treading water in the MPL Premier Division, not really pulling up any roots at all. But this does seem to be like a statement of intent from the club. Would you agree with that? That this is a sign of the ambition that's at Matlock Town now.
Yeah, definitely. My initial question going in, and it was nothing against the club, like you said, as far as I've played in this league and played in non-league, Matlock has been like you say, a stagnant club. It's always been a mid-table team. You'd play against them, but they was never challenging for the title and stuff like that. And my question going into it was, which Matlock am I signing for? Are we having a bit of a one-off, or is this us now? And then Bryn and Philo both spoke about the plans, about the players they want to bring in, the players they want to keep, where they see us playing next year, or in a couple of seasons. And it, like I said, it was a no-brainer. So everything, because I want to go on playing as high as I can. I want to win. I want to win stuff, and they tick both boxes. And it were a case of we'll see if we can do that next year. We can see if we can do that. They're planning to do stuff, and they're planning to keep players that. It's not none of my business, but I want to be surrounded by good players. So I'm like, who are we planning to keep? What we're planning to do, and everything I sort of asked, they give the right answer. Not that I was quizzing them, but everything I wanted to hear, they just give me on the night, and there was no, we can look at that in 12 months or 6 months. It was, it's already in transition.
Well, that all sounds really positive with Matlock Town then. And just for yourself, for your own career, would you say that this stage of your career now, your time at Matlock, is this the most settled you've ever been in your playing career?
Yeah. I think it's coming up to the longest, even though I've not played a full season for Matlock yet. I think I've been here 18 months, but obviously with COVID and stuff like that, the seasons have been cut short. But even from, I think I signed 2 games into it or 3 games into it, we was cut off that one. So I didn't really get a feel for the club. But then last year, before it was cut off, I got a real good feel about every time I turned up. The fans are brilliant. Coming and trying to speak to as many as I can, but They're always positive. You know, it's a great little place to go to every week. And just you know, I'm maturing as well. So I'm 28 now. So I'm coming into what I'd say is sort of my peak, and I think it's just nicely coming together. I really enjoy the club. Literally everything about it is not a bad word I can say about it. As well as me, sort of maturing as a person and a player, it's just sort of married together really nicely.
Yeah, fantastic. And obviously, with this season, it's been brought up a couple of times before, and obviously, this is why the club would have been so keen to have got you down there to a new deal, as well as being the club's leading goal scorer. And obviously, you're doing that without being, you know, like a centre forward. You've scored 10 goals, but you've also you've also got around about 560 assists this season. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Missed a few out there as well.
Yeah. There's just any set piece that comes in, whether, you know, whichever flank it's coming in from for a corner, or whether it's a free kick, no matter how far away it is, you're always thinking, well, it could be, you know, this could be going in, or this could be being whipped in for someone like Liam Hughes or Ryan Qualter to head in. It's unbelievable. Just to clarify, it's 24 assists, but yeah, we might just add on a few more. But when you're going into a game, so like, say, for example, before the Buxton game that we had last time, you must be just so buzzing with confidence before every game, knowing that you're in such good form, that your stats are just unbelievable for this season. Now, just how confident are you at the moment going into each game that you're just going to add to this tally?
Yeah, I don't think anyway I could be more confident. I just turn up knowing in myself, obviously it's not a given every week that I can affect the game. I'm going to affect the game, and then, you know, even if everyone has little self doubts, I just look at the numbers, you know, that we do it, that I've done, how we're doing in the league, and if I can't get confidence off myself, which is rare because I'm quite confident, then I just look at the players around me, and there's a real good core. We're top of the league, and it is, the change rooms is brimming with confidence. You know, and I'm obviously a big player in terms of what goes on the pitch, and that for me, I always go back, and he'd have murdered me, absolutely murdered me, if I didn't mention his name. But I remember sitting down, I was going through a bit of a transition period of just becoming a dad and not getting in Warrington for one or two reasons. And I sat down with him, and he was, obviously, you know what Wildy's like. He was giving me the stories of what he'll do, what he'll put in place to get the best out of me. And every manager who's ever signed a players obviously give them the spiel. So I'm like, I've known Wildy for years. I'm like, yeah, you know, I do believe him, but I've heard it all before. And credit to him and Philo and the staff. But me and Wildy sat down, and he looked at me and he said, if you sign, I will get the best out of you. You'll have your best season, if not seasons, under me. I promise you. And, you know, he's mad as a box of frogs, but he's true to his word, and he's got that out of me, and all the staff has and the players. So, you know, I play with Courts at Shaw Lane. He's an unbelievable influence on me. So calming, and I'm mature. You know, Edgy, when he was here, I've known Edgy since I was a kid. He sort of put his arm around me. Lee's there. So there's a lot of lads there that aren't part of the staff, but, you know, I'm quite emotional. So sometimes the occasion does get, or, you know, more used to get the better of me. And these players have just put their arm around me, quick 30 seconds, and just bring me back to where I need to be. And like I said, it's a lot of stuff that's marrying together, as well as me coming of age. I'm surrounded by great people, staff and players. And I just, you know, people say, like, you know, I'm buzzing. He signed a contract. The numbers are great. Yeah, but it's not fair not to give them people, you know, like Lee's must cover 13k a game. Don't really get spoken about like he should do. But it's in the change rooms and training ground when he just talks to me about stuff. Or, you know, Qualts, you know, he's been colossal this year. People like Ross with the experience. All these players are like talking to me, and just you can never stop learning. And these players are just learning me all the time how to control my emotions. And we've got Nicole, give a little shout out to her, because she sort of unpicks my brain sometimes when me and Philo bump heads, which is pretty regular. You know, she's quick to nip it in the bud, and it's done. So It's just a great team, staff and players at the minute, and that's what's really evident whenever you're in the changing rooms.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fantastic to hear just how great the morale and the atmosphere is on the team. That everyone clearly gets on really well with each other too. Just speaking about Mark Lees, because I know he doesn't get mentioned all that much. He's not there, sort of like an Kante style figure. Does all the hard yards, nothing too flashy. But yeah, I've seen him before speaking to like Reece Kendall, like the younger players like Reece and Jezza and Uchegblum when they've been a bit down after maybe not one of their best performances, and the way he speaks to them, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Wouldn't surprise me if he ends up having some sort of coaching career after his playing days are done. Just quickly, let's talk about. So it feels like a while ago now. The Buxton Derby victory on the 27th of December, which still sees Matlock top of the league. Just how great was that atmosphere? Because I don't know if you've seen it before, but that was Matlock's highest crowd for a league match at Causeway Lane since 1977, which is going back some way. Just how great was that atmosphere going into that game and playing in it, and obviously just how important was that victory to get one over not just your local rivals, but obviously the team that are vying with you for that promotion spot.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, like you say, just the complete atmosphere. That take away, it's a derby, well, not it's a derby, but the top of the table clash. Just the fact that there was so many people there, and all the players. You could, I mean, I'm from Manchester, I'm not from Derbyshire, but you could feel what it meant to people. It was the place was absolutely buzzing. Their fans and our fans. We obviously both set of fans fancied the chances, but just playing in it was, yeah, it's one of them games, and we all said it afterwards. You look back in 10, 20, 30 years and go, that game just after, Boxing Day that year, just that day after Boxing Day against Buxton at home, that was stuff where you don't play many of them games often, and that was brilliant. And then we pinched it to go top of the league. Was just absolutely unbelievable, and we're still all buzzing off it. We had training last night, and the lads are still, like I said, the confidence is high. But after that, how can you not be buzzing off that? It's that's what you play for, a local derby to send you top of the league. And also, it's not to put a downer on it. I think we've let ourselves down big time in terms of South Shields, York, the big home games when they've come. Not just me. There's a couple of players that we just didn't do ourselves justice. The South Shields one still eats away at me, because I think for 60, 65 minutes, we're just showing them too much respect. They scored and we give it a go too late. And if we did that against Bucks, that would have been criminal, absolutely criminal. So it was good that, we put on a good, strong display and we got the 3 points. And hopefully like you say, it's the biggest crowd we've had in 40 years, league game. Hopefully we retain some of them fans just off that, because it was a brilliant day. The weather weren't great and they was out in numbers. Hopefully they come back all year round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that a lot of people that might not have been at Causeway Lane for a while and maybe had been regulars before, if obviously with victories like that, that will certainly be attracting more people to come down to Causeway Lane and to watch the games at the Proctor Cars Stadium. So just finally then, obviously with Matlock being in such a great position at this stage of the season, but obviously there's a long way to go. But one thing that I've seen online, and especially on social media, a lot of people sort of that will follow teams in this division still saying that they're expecting Matlock to falter, that they'll start sliding down a little bit, that they won't be able to compete for a whole season with the likes of like South Shields or Buxton. But obviously with victories like against Buxton, that's still proving them people wrong. And I know Philo is hell bent on proving these people wrong. So just finally, how confident are you that Matlock, can stay where they are at the top of the league until the end of the season? Because I know that will surprise a lot of people, because not many would have had Matlock to be in this position at the start of the season. But just how confident are you that the Gladiators can stay top by the end of the season?
100% confident. I don't see why not. We've just played Buxton. We beat them. We played South Shields. And like I said, we let ourselves down big time. These teams that we played, and then, you know, I've seen it myself. They won't keep up there with them two teams. Well, why won't we? Because we played them. They've not, you know, we've gone toe to toe with them. We've beat Buxton. South Shields beat us 1-0. And then, you know, you look at Warrington, been to theirs, beat them. Bamber Bridge, been to theirs, beat them. You know, so teams in and around us we're beating as well. So I don't understand why there's this big. Obviously, people were saying they didn't expect us to be there at the start of the season. That's fair enough. But we're 22 games in now, and if we don't believe in ourselves now, then, you know, we might as well stop, because you're never going to. But, you know, we've got a good, like I said, a good core, and then, you know, people are performing out the skin. You know, someone like Reece Kendall's having his best year. He's been brilliant. You know, the midfield engine room we've got in there. You know, it must be a nightmare to play against, because if Leesy's not chasing you, Wilesy and Kingius, you know, we've just got a good unit of players that are all playing well. And then, you know, you put in Hughes, who's a platform for us. And then, like we said before, I'm having the best season I've ever had. And at the minute, you know, talk about confidence. I feel like I'm performing one of the best, you know, like one of the best players in the league. I don't understand where anyone else sort of, you know, overshadows us. The only thing South Shields and Buxton have got for me is they have got a bigger wage bill and, you know, more money to spend if they need to. Maybe we haven't got it, but I don't think it's about that. I don't think we need that, especially at the minute, because we've got people everywhere. We might add one or two, you know, over the course of the next 20 games. But what we've got right now, I'd take. We've got 22 games. We're top of the league. Why can't we do another 20 and be up there?
Absolutely. Yeah, fantastic, Al. Obviously, that's obviously great to hear from you. First time that we've heard you on the show, and obviously it's been a fantastic season so far. Actually, I said that was going to be my last question. I've just thought of one. Just finally, have you got a target for how many assists by the end of April for this season? Do you reckon 50 is a target? I mean, you're 24 in early January, so...
I was talking to Wildy about this the other day. So my target at the start of the year was between 10 and 15 goals and 30 assists. So obviously at this rate, you know, I'm flying past that. And we spoke about targets, and Wildy said 40 for assists. And, you know, I'd be happy to get 40, but at this rate, I've got to be aiming for more than that. I want to double it, really. That's, you know, 22 games gone, 24. Why can't I do, you know, another 24 in the next 20? Because, you know, signing that contract, like we said before, is a statement of intent. It's not just for the club, it's for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm settled. I'm playing the best football I can. So, you know, I've got 24 in 22. Well, why not go for 24 in 20? Or, you know, so on and improve them numbers. It's not, you know, I'm not happy just sitting on that, especially if it helps us kick on and get to where we need to be. And then the goal one, I'm happy with the goals at the minute. If I get over 15, touching 20, I'll be buzzing with that. So 40 plus, 15 plus, there's the targets.
Nice one. Well, certainly hope that you meet them, because obviously you're just having such a good season so far, and obviously long may that continue. So thanks for your time tonight, Al, and I'm sure we'll speak to you again soon. And obviously good luck for Matlock in the next game at home against Ashton.
Yeah, top man.